Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador, I've been hearing from many New Jersey businesses about the importance of GSP, which Congress has unfortunately failed to renew since it expired in 2020. In the past 2 years alone, GSP expiration has cost importers in my state an estimated $128 million, and national impact being estimated to over $2.3 billion. What have you been hearing from businesses about the importance of GSP renewal?
Senator Menendez, I also hear from businesses who have made use of the GSP program that they would very much like for it to be reauthorized.
Yeah. Well, it's not just important because of the cost savings for American businesses. It also helps reduce our reliance on China by making it more cost-effective to import from low and middle-income countries. Would you agree that GSP renewal is also a way to incentivize business to diversify their imports away from China?
Senator Menendez, what you've described makes a good amount of sense to me. I also would just take GSP back to its roots, which is GSP is a fundamental part of our trade and development program, and part of the main part of the GSP objectives also are to stimulate and foster economic development with our developing country partners.
Well, I agree, and I hope that renewal and retroactive relief can be one of the priorities for the committee. Now, one of the great privileges that we afford any country is preferential access to the U.S. market. There is a long list of governments that want a free trade agreement with the United States. When I was in Ecuador, I heard very much from the Ecuadorians, and they unfortunately missed out because their previous president had a different view of the United States. This one is aligned with us, but at the time that the countries in that region got a trade agreement, they were excluded by their own actions. Yet we offer this benefit to a limited number of countries that are willing to meet our standards and that share our commitment to democratic values. For this simple reason, I believe we cannot ignore when one of our free trade partners, specifically Nicaragua, becomes a brutal dictatorship. This month, a United Nations investigative team concluded that Nicaragua's Ortega regime was responsible for, quote, crimes against humanity. In describing these atrocities, one UN investigator equated Ortega's abuses to crimes committed by the Nazi regime in Germany. A week later, Pope Francis similarly linked the brutality of the Ortega regime to that of Hitler's dictatorship. I don't take those similarities very lightly. I think when they are used, you really have to think about when you use them, but they did. These shocking characterizations underscore the urgency of ending a business-as-usual approach with Nicaragua. Do you think, Ambassador, the Ortega regime deserves preferential access to the United States market?
Senator Menendez, I think this has been a topic of broader administration deliberation and concern. I think you are absolutely right. When regimes turn, that we have to reconsider how we treat them across the board. And it has been a question for us as well around how to respond accordingly.
Well, I can't think of any other dictatorship, specifically one committing crimes against humanity, that we willingly provide duty-free benefits to. So I look forward to working with you and the administration to suspend Nicaragua's market access under CAFTA. It is just absolutely outrageous. Finally, I want to thank you and your team for the diligent work in negotiating the U.S. Taiwan initiative on 21st century trade. Taiwan's a key trading partner with whom we have a strategic relationship that is intimately intertwined with our economic security, particularly as it relates to trade in semiconductors. It's a model global citizen, a key stakeholder in the Indo-Pacific economic community, and a vibrant democracy that respects the rule of law. As you approach the end of the negotiations, what is your plan for submitting an agreement to Congress for approval so that businesses in the United States and Taiwan have certainty that the agreement you're currently negotiating will set durable standards into the future?
Well, Senator Menendez, let me also refer to the work that we've done together on transparency, and note that I think it was last week that we had published public summaries of the proposals that we put forward in our first round of negotiations with Taiwan. Let me say this. I agree with you across the board in terms of how you've described our economic and strategic relationship with Taiwan. And I also want to be clear with all of the members of this committee that when the members have spoken here, the senators, also House members, on supporting Taiwan's economy, that we hear you. We are thinking about how we can make this relationship, using our economic tools, as strong as possible. With respect to the parts that we are negotiating right now, let me continue to stay close with you and the members of this committee on our progress, and take up your question in that context.
I look forward to hearing that, and I would be happy to work to find the appropriate mechanism to effectuate whatever agreement that you may come to. Thank you.